Good morning, folks. My name is Kurt Hitzemann, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for your first appearance. The purpose of the first appearance is so that you may be informed of the charges against you. I'll determine if there's probable cause for those charges. Probable cause simply means it's more likely than not that a crime was committed, and more likely than not that you're the person that committed the crime. Of course, as you stand before me this morning, I presume that you're innocent of these allegations. That presumption of innocence will stay with you through every stage of the proceedings unless and until the state attorney's office is able to prove the allegations against you beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. We'll set your conditions of pretrial release this morning. That is your bail or your bond. In most cases, you've had a bond set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit, or the warrant which led to your arrest. I will determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, or whether there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. If you'd like to have the services of the public defender this morning, I'll gladly appoint the PD to represent you. You do have an absolute right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. If you have not had a chance to make that call, please let me know. We'll make sure that that happens. Finally, and most importantly, you're advised that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. These proceedings are recorded. In addition, there is an assistant state attorney in the courtroom with me. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. I now need each and every one of you there at the jail to please raise your right hands and be sworn. Y'all solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, whole truth, none but the truth? Outstanding. When you hear your name called, please step forward to the podium. Michelle Hartman. Morning, Ms. Hartman. What's your date of birth?
10/3/85.
Michelle, I have a warrant for you out of Marion County. The judge that signed that warrant found probable cause for a violation of probation and set your bond at no bond. I can't change that. We'll notify the folks in Marion that you're here and ready to go and give them 5 days to come get you. If for some strange reason you're still here in 5 days, they'll bring you back to see me, and I'll find out what the holdup is, all right?
Okay.
Thank you. Alan Beeler.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, Mr. Beeler. What's your date of birth?
3/24/64.
Mr. Beeler, the charge this morning is battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender, please.
I'm going to appoint the PD. And it looks like he has an open case. Does he have, aside from the open case, Ms. Preston, do you have any other history?
Yes, sir.
Hang on.
Yes, sir. It's one of those that strings it out, but I can tell you the type of charges would be
Right.
DUI, violation of that probation, burglary, drug possession, traffic. I do see a failure to appear, but it's unable to determine the date on that prior failure to appear.
Okay.
A traffic with a hit and run as part of a DUI.
Okay. Mr. Beeler, I have an address for you on Elder Street in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir. 15 years.
All right. Do you have a job these days?
I just got hired on yesterday. I start tonight on a boat called the Windy
Okay.
for Roland Gunther.
Okay. All right. And Miss Duda also lives there on Elder Street?
No, sir. Her property is the 3420 Fremont Lane.
Okay.
I live at my mother's house.
Okay. Well, here's what's going to happen on the battery charge. I'm going to set a bond of $500. That's coming back on the 20th of July. However, it appears to me that you are currently out on bond on a felony charge. Job number one when you're out on bond is don't pick up new criminal charges. It appears to me that you have. Therefore, pursuant to Florida Statute 903.0471, I'm going to revoke your pretrial release in that case. So we're going to hold you without bond on that case, on the felony case, until that comes back, which is also on July 20th. The condition of your bonds, or the condition going forward here, is that you'll have no contact with Ms. Duda. Since you're not getting out of jail today, that means you will not call her or write her from the jail. If you were to call her or write her from the jail, you could be held in contempt for each instance. You also could get new criminal charges for each instance, so don't do that. So both your cases are coming back July 20th. The public defender is going to come see you at the jail before that date, okay?
Judge, may I please have the case
Thank
number
you.
for his felony case?
It's 18 CF 1327.
Thank you, Judge.
Mark Corso. Want to, sir, what's your date of birth?
4/27/64.
Mark, the charge is battery as a second or subsequent offense being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender, sir.
I'll appoint the PD. State what can you tell me?
Judge, I'm showing an out-of-state case. It's a long time ago, 2001, but it was an allegation of battery resulting in bodily injury. I'm also showing 91 Hillsborough distributing cocaine and a battery arrest this year, February 27, 2018, here in Hernando County, where the case was dropped.
All right.
I don't know if that was the same victim or not.
And Mark, I have an address for you on Melbourne Street in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you lived there?
January.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
Self-employed, sir.
What do you do?
Painting, laminate flooring, stuff like that.
Okay. And does Miss Thornton also live there on Melbourne Street?
Yes, sir, but she's on probation for this stuff.
Okay.
Sort of. Supposed to go to anger management, and she
Okay.
threatened me. I didn't do it, sir.
All right. I'm going to set your bond at $1,000, Mr. Corso. Condition of the bond is that you have no contact with Miss Thornton. No contact means no contact of any kind. You don't call, you don't write, you don't email, you don't text message. Don't contact her through any social media. You don't have a third person contact her. Don't go where she lives. Don't go where she works. Don't have any contact of any kind. Any way that you might imagine contacting her, I forbid you to do that. If you have contact and we find out about it, your bond can be revoked and you can be held without bond until the charges are resolved. It means no contact even if she wants to contact. So if you answer your phone and hear her voice, you should hang up. If you're out and about and see her, you should turn around and run the other way. You need to understand that she cannot drop the charges against you. That is not a decision that she gets to make. She may go to the state attorney's office and ask them to drop the charges. She may tell them she's not interested in pursuing this matter. But that decision belongs solely to the assistant state attorney who will be handling your case. So unless that person or the judge on your case tells you the charges are dropped, you should assume they are not dropped and you should not have contact. In addition, I'm going to hold you at the jail up until 4 o'clock this afternoon so that if she wanted to serve you with a civil injunction for protection against domestic violence, we would know where to find you. If you get the civil injunction, it's doubly important that you not have contact because in that case, not only would you get your bond revoked here, but you could get new charges for violating the injunction. I'm going to have you back in court on the 24th of July. If you bond out, as far as the address on Melbourne Street is concerned, as long as Miss Thornton is there, you'll have to find somewhere else to stay. You can go by one time to collect your clothes, your toothbrush, whatever you need for wherever you plan to stay. But in order to accomplish that, you must contact the sheriff's office first. They'd meet you there with the deputy who would stand by while you got your things and got going where you're going. If you do bond out, make sure that you contact the public defender's office right away, okay?
Ask one question.
Go ahead.
Since the first time charges were dropped because they were unfounded, why are they charging with a felony this time? I mean, I thought I was trying to understand.
Okay. Well, I'm not. All I found was probable cause, sir. So that's a fairly low standard. It may be that you're not guilty of anything, but that'll be a conversation to have with your lawyer. All right?
You understand why is it a second charge as a felony?
Because apparently you have a prior conviction for battery.
So when convicted, the charges were dropped.
Well, the most recent one was.
I ain't had prior conviction.
Okay, well, your lawyer will help you figure that out. Have a seat.
Just asking. I'm sorry.
Eladio Diaz.
We're seeking an RCO, Judge.
No worries. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
12/25/1955.
All right. Sir, the charge this morning is violation of conditions of pretrial release, specifically being the no contact order that I explained to you. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that
Sir,
charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire a private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
I got an attorney, but need to explain something. It wasn't you who was here last time I was here. It was a female
Okay,
judge.
well, she explains it the same way I do.
She did. No, man, sir. I had my son here with me, and I thought the court order was against him, not the son at home. My son's still in jail right now, and I didn't know I had a charge against me from my son at home. So I went straight home, and I've been there for 10
Sir,
days.
I'm not your lawyer, but I
And
recommend you stop talking at
haven't
this
been a
time.
threat.
Yeah,
And
you really,
nobody
Mr.
else
Diaz,
told
you're not
me.
helping at all. There really isn't any point to talk about the charges this morning, because we're just not going to get into the facts of the case, which is why I asked you not to get into the facts of the case.
Okay, no problem.
So it's not going to change anything. Well, it might change something down the road
Right.
now, but
So what's going to happen?
in any event, so you have a private lawyer, or you have a PD already.
Excuse me?
Is your lawyer a private lawyer, or is it a public defender?
The private lawyer.
Okay. Does the lawyer know where you are today?
I don't know if he does.
Okay. On this case, I'll set your bond at $1,000. This one's coming back on the 20th of July. You're going to have to contact your lawyer and tell him about that. And then,
All right.
in your other case, apparently you have a case set in front of Judge Toner on July 20th, 18 CF 1316. In that case, pursuant to Florida Statute 903.0471, I'm going to revoke your pretrial release. We're going to hold you without bond, at least until the 20th. Judge Toner, of course, can readdress your bond if he wishes on the 20th. So you need to get a hold of your lawyer so he can help you start sorting these things out, all right? Thank you.
Have a seat. I can't live like this. I gotta put that in a come off the bottle.
Jonathan Naper.
Just have an offer in case. There's a Hernando.
Yes, sir.
Morning, Jonathan. What's your date of birth?
6/30/87.
All right, Jonathan, you're here on a warrant I signed. Apparently you failed to appear in my court back in January in a charge of driving on a suspended license. And state, is there an offer for him?
Yes, sir. You want me to stay seated? The charge currently is charged as an M2. He does have priors, which could be, so we could enhance this at least possibly to an M1. The recommendation today, if he entered a plea, would be 60 days, based on his history.
Okay. And Jonathan, the offer is 60 days in the county jail. If you're interested in that, we can do that right now. If you'd rather have a chance to bond out and speak to a lawyer first, of course you can do that.
Your Honor, I was incarcerated in custody over in Osceola County when the FDA came out.
Right?
Is that is the 60 days for the FTA? Is it 60 days for the
For the driving on a suspended, they're not, at the moment they haven't charged you with failing to appear, and if you were in jail, they probably will never charge you with failing to appear.
Okay, sir. Does all time credit count?
How long you been in jail?
I was served. I've been in jail since January the 26th.
Okay. And can somebody at the jail confirm to me that this young man has been incarcerated that long?
I'm reviewing that for you. Christie, 126.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give you time served then if you want to take it, Jonathan.
Yes, sir.
You understand by entering a plea today, you give up the right to have a trial by jury, the right to confront the witnesses against you, the right to remain silent, the right to have a lawyer represent you, but you're willing to give up those rights so that we can resolve your case today?
Yes, sir.
Case number 17-CT-3896, as to the charge that you drove, knowing your license was suspended or revoked. How do you wish to plead? You can plead no contest.
No contest, sir.
I'll accept that plea, find that it's freely and voluntarily made, adjudicate you guilty of the charge, sentence you 60 days in the county jail, credit 60 days served. Fine and court cost is $438. I will not charge cost of incarceration since you did all your time someplace else. If there's nothing else keeping you in the jail, you will be released today, all right?
Yes, sir.
And good luck.
Thank you.
All right. Hernando Rodriguez.
Morning, Judge.
Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
July 16th, 1961.
All right, so you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Toner. Apparently, he found probable cause for a violation of probation. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself? You want to hire private counsel? Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll point the PD. Bond on the warrant is no bond. I can't change that. Okay. So, what's my Toner date? Because this looks like a Judge Toner case. He's got cases in front of both of them, but this one's got to go to Toner.
Yes.
Yep. It is? That's what the warrant says, but okay. The warrant says Toner. It says Toner, felony, signed by Judge Toner. With his name on it. Okay, well, if that's what it says, we'll send it there and they can sort it out. All right, so it's going to stay no bond, Ronaldo. I'll have you back on the 24th of July. The public defender is going to come see you before then, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Michael Romeo.
Morning.
Morning, Michael. What's your date of birth?
3/30/72.
All right. Michael, I have a warrant for you signed by Judge Merritt. He found probable cause for a violation of probation. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself? You want to hire private counsel? Would you like the public defender?
Public defender, please.
I'll appoint the PD. Bond on the warrant is no bond. I can't change that. We'll send you back to see Judge Merritt on the 24th of July. PD will come see you before then, okay?
Okay, I have some time in on that. Is that
Okay.
something I can
Okay, for that you'll have to see Judge Merritt for that, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Jerry Sandifer.
Good morning.
Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
1/18/79.
Jerry, you're here on a warrant out of Pasco County. Apparently you failed to appear on some charges down there, and the judge who issued the warrant set the bond at no bond. I can't change that. We'll notify Pasco that you're here and ready to go. I'll give them 5 days to come get you. It doesn't take 5 days with Pasco, but if something goes wrong and you're still here in 5 days, they'll bring you back to see me, all right?
Okay, question.
Sure.
Kind of in the same circumstance as the other guy. If I was incarcerated when that warrant was put out, do that really not get held against me?
It is not likely to. It depends. Obviously, that's the state attorney's office there is not only in a different county, it's in a different judicial circuit. So I know how things work here, but I can't tell you conclusively how they work there. But it seems unlikely to me that they'll charge you with failing to appear if you were in jail someplace when you were supposed to be in court.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You do. Brendan Scarborough. Morning, Brendan. What's your date of birth?
10/22/86.
Brendan, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Rupi. She found probable cause for a violation of probation. The folks at probation are recommending that we terminate that probation and have you do 20 days in the county jail. If that's something you'd like to accept now, you sure can.
Yes, sir.
Say that again?
Yes, sir.
All right. You understand by entering admission to a violation of probation, you give up the right to have a trial to the court, the right to confront the witnesses against you, the right to have an attorney represent you, but you are willing to give up those rights so we can take care of this today?
Yes.
In case number 17MM3427, do you admit that you violated your probation?
Yes.
I'll accept the admission, find it's freely and voluntarily made, revoke and terminate the probation unsuccessfully. Adjudicate you guilty of the underlying charge if we didn't do that before. I'll sentence you to 20 days in the county jail, give you credit for 2 days served. It'll be $50 cost of prosecution and your cost of incarceration, but that takes care of it. Brendan, you just need to finish the time, okay?
Okay. I also have like 5 days in from before.
Do you? Hang on. It'll give you credit.
I bonded out after 5 days.
Yep, I'm with you. Hang on a second.
It was 7 days.
Actually, you got 8 on the front end, the way we count them. So you'll be 20 with credit for 10, okay?
Okay.
I'm sure that's okay with you?
Yes.
Okay, you're all set.
Thank you.
You bet. Avinash Singh. Want to, sir, what's your date of birth?
Morning. 5/28/89.
Right, sir, the charge is battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender, please.
I'll appoint the PD state.
Judge, I'm just showing out-of-state history. I believe it's New York, involving alcohol charges.
Okay. And sir, I have an address for you on Puffer Trace or Terrace in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yeah, it's Hibiscus Springs rental homes.
And how long have you lived there?
4 months.
And Mohani lived there as well?
Yes, both of our names are on the lease.
Okay.
I'm the main leaseholder, and she's
All
co-part.
right. Do you have a job these days?
Yes, I do.
What do you do?
I'm an electrician. I work for Strider Electric.
Okay. I set your bond at $500. Condition is that you have no contact with Mohani. Did you hear me explain no contact earlier?
Yes.
Did you understand it?
I do understand it, but how does it work if we're both living at the same
Well,
home?
you're not going to be living there. I explained that. That's why I'm asking you if you understood what I said, and I'll make it clear to you now. As long as she stays there, you'll have to find someplace else to stay. You can go by one time to grab your things, but you've got to contact the sheriff's office first. They would meet you there with a deputy. You'd have a few minutes to grab your things and get going where you're going. If the next thing that you want to tell me is that you don't have any place to stay, of course, you're welcome to stay where you're at until this case gets resolved. But as long as she chooses to stay there until we get this case resolved, you either have to stay in jail or find someplace else to stay. Do you understand now?
Yes.
Very good. Also going to hold you up until 4 p.m. so that if she wants to serve you with a civil injunction, we know where to find you. You will be back in court on the 20th of July. If you bond out, make sure that you contact the public defender right away, okay?
Yes.